we schooled together with the Dick in college some 35 years ago. So thank you. He was a colleague. The chair of KETSA, the board, and all the teams present, our sponsors who are there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Peter Ngugi, the Honorary Secretary, KETSA. And in the interest of our friend, Mr. Mugambi, Transnation, Sacco, I want to do a recap of what happened yesterday so that we can lead from the same page. So I want to remind each one of us that we are having our 5th annual Readers Summit, and our chief guest was Shege Dumbi, who is the CEO, Syrian Bank. And the theme is innovation and impact, SACCOs as the ultimate one-stop shop. The chairman yesterday called the meeting to order at 9:15 a.m. and the Reverend Augustus Munuve presided over a short sermon from Isaiah 38:1-5, and he reminded us as readers that indeed we have an expiry date. One day, one time, we shall be out of service, and what matters most is what we do and the impact we create in the society. He also reminded us that God is the owner of life, and he has repeated it here. That was a good word. And what therefore matters most is the impact that we create when we are in the service. The introductions were well conducted yesterday by myself, the Honorary Secretary, and then later on, the chairman welcomed the chief guest, Engineer Shege Dumbi, and took cognizance of all the sponsors and other partners present. He has well made clarification on how far the board had gone on matters regulations by the Sacco Society's regulatory authority. And he did promise to give a communication before the expiry of 1 month. The chair confirmed that Syrian Bank had continued to be sponsor for KETSA summits for the last 5 years, and for this year they did it instead, where they gave 2 million in support of this summit. The chief guest came in, Shege Dumbi, and he did emphasize on innovation and creativity in order for the SACCOs to remain afloat. SACCOs must be mindful of the impact they create to their members. The SACCOs should therefore embrace partnerships and collaborations and look for alternative channels. They must be dedicated, and they dedicate themselves to efficiency, time management, customer experience, and address the risks so involved. They should also address what to do with the excess liquidity. They should address partnerships with insurance companies, etc. He also did remind the board of directors present that innovation and creativity had no option. The boards must explore understanding the outside world markets, such as Europe and USA, in order to update their game for service and products delivery. On issues of cyber security, we talked about it, and SACCOs should be given, SACCOs should give cyber security issues first preference. Then they must develop sustainable business models. Then we had our second presenter, who was Professor Kamau Gamau, who is the Vice Chancellor, Cooperative University of Kenya, and he expressed the commitment of the university in coming up with the programs that would suit CBE, currently that is the curriculum. The university was awarding certificates and diplomas and also degrees, more so through e-learning. And it was committed to mentoring and counseling students in business-related courses. And according to Professor Gamau, the institution was in collaboration with KETSA, and they are in the process of writing an MOU so that everyone can benefit more so in the cooperative and the Sacco subsector. And just like Mr. Dhombe, our chief guest, he emphasized on partnerships and collaborations, research, new products, services and governance systems, and technology. And that would respond to involving members' needs. The main concern of the modern board of directors should be future ready and not necessarily being stable. And the board should therefore address liquidity solutions, long-term asset financing, investment, advisory programs, and retirement planning solutions. They should also look at cost cutting and paperless transactions as part of the way forward. Then we had the third presenter, who was UNICAF. So the country manager, UNICAF, said that they deal mainly with education scholarship for upscaling, and therefore encouraged our SACCOs to promote their staffs to pursue degrees from international universities through them, and the board would cut on training and education programs costs if they collaborate with UNICAF. And already they have entered into an MOU. This was a reminder that UNICAF has entered into an MOU with the Kenya Primary Schools Heads Association and the Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association. And currently they are in the process of entering into an MOU with the KETSA. And he reminded the team that UNICAF has been existing for the last 17 years. And then the fourth presenter was Josephine Nabuki. This lady is the Business Development and Innovation Technologies Development KONZA City. And she demonstrated, she started by demonstrating the master plan of KONZA City, which will hold quite a big population when complete. And they are collaborating with the counties and the national government in order to grow KONZA City. On her part, she described digital transformation as the strategic use of digital technology to change on how organizations operate, how they serve the stakeholders, and how it delivers on value. And they also reminded the team that Kenya was leading in Africa on matters of digital economy, and therefore SACCOs were challenged to be in the lead as well. Also, she touched on issues to do with the AI, and SACCOs were encouraged to go that direction as a way of bridging the gap. And from Josephine, SACCOs must address issues to do with the members' retention, must also look at continuous members engagement through members education, market-driven products, and youth inclusivity. She also gave an insight of electronic members voting, but of course with robust vetting processes. And the SACCOs must agree to appreciate doing things different. Then we had the fifth presenter, who was a Pioneer Insurance Company, who expressed her willingness to collaborate with the SACCOs on matters insurance. She also promised her willingness to enlighten members on Pioneer Life and the Pioneer General business wings. And she said that Pioneer would be celebrating their 95 years, and the Pioneer was more than willing to continue collaborating and supporting programs like the summit which we have, and even next year they will be there for us. She urged the SACCOs to support the company by opening doors for a Pioneer Insurance Company. We left for lunch, and we broke for lunch at around 2, and members enjoyed their SBAs, and that is what we did yesterday. I believe that Mugambi now, you are well. And I want to leave you with a quote from Martin Luther King, that the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Let's go and implement what we have learned. Instead of talking about it, let us go and implement. Thank you very much. MC, may you have a good day.
Thank you.